Hello, welcome to this week's Market Carver. I'm Andrew Thrasher, Senior Portfolio Manager, joined by Zach Unger, Portfolio Manager. We have two topics that somewhat connect, and we're going to dive into them now. First, looking at the shift in performance for some areas of stocks, and as we're starting to see some money coming out of the tech space, primarily being driven by what's happening over in South Korea that Zach's going to dig into us further down into the video. First, want to look at the difference in performance between high volatility stocks and low volatility stocks. We've seen over the last year that a very wide dispersion in performance. You can see on the chart on the left, the S&P 500 high beta being those higher octane, more volatile stocks, has really blown out the water, those lower volatility, slower moving stocks for the last year. You can see the wide spread in the lines there. However, if we were to zoom in on the last month, they've flip-flopped. And that's what the chart on the right shows, where low volatility stocks have been doing much better. They're up 3%, while high beta stocks, those high volatility stocks, are actually down 7% over the last month. A big part of this is we've seen a very strong trend in momentum stocks, the stocks that have been doing really well over the last month and the expectation will do well the next month. That trade has really come under pressure and really put a lot of pressure on those higher beta stocks. A lot of those being from the tech sector. Think those Mag 7 names we often talk about in the Market Carver, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Tesla, a lot of those names that you're probably pretty familiar with if you're in tune with kind of the investment market, or if you've just been watching the Market Carver consistently, because we talk about them a lot. They've really been the driving force behind what the S&P 500 has been doing. Whatever those mega cap stocks do, they very are the tail that wagged the dog. And so with that, the market has kind of consolidated a little bit. We saw the S&P 500 peak back in early June. It's kind of gone nowhere for the last roughly month, 2 months. And with that, we started to see an increase in performance for, again, those lower volatility stocks. Think of these as just those turtles climbing in the sand. They're not going real fast, but they're making some progress. That's what we've seen, to where they didn't start out with really strong performance for the last year, but they're now showing their mettle here in the last month. Again, up in positive territory, while those really volatile stocks actually are negative. We can also see a little bit of expression of this theme play out when we start looking a little bit broader at the sectors. In fact, sector correlation, and that just is a fancy way, and this chart gets a little complicated, but we're just looking at how correlated is each sector to the overall market. When we start seeing all the sectors move together, they're all marching higher or marching lower with the S&P 500, that's telling us they're very strongly correlated. When that flips and we start seeing a lot of sectors go in all different directions, some are going up, some are going down, and they're not really moving together, that's when that correlation begins to fall. And over the last 3 months, it's fallen a lot. In fact, we're seeing the lowest levels of sector correlation over the last 3 months if we have to go all the way back to 2000. Now, we don't often like to have to reference to major market peaks when we look at these comparisons, and we're not making a market call saying that we're going to repeat that tech wreck, but it just shows during that tech period where everything was about the internet stocks, anything with a .com behind it was what drove the market higher, while the rest of the market started to roll over. A lot of other sectors weren't performing really well, and we saw correlation during that time collapse. In fact, it got on that middle part of that screen, that chart, it shows the 6-month correlation got really low. We're not quite there on a 6-month perspective, really kind of zooming in more in the last 3 months, but really seeing a bifurcation of how sectors are performing. And this, again, is something we traditionally see when either the market's starting to decline or when, again, back in the 2000s. So the kind of the takeaway we have as a team on the allocation side is that we start seeing a lot more winners and a lot more losers. There's a lot more opportunity for active management in this kind of market, where we can really express views and say, okay, this part of the market's doing really well, and that's where we want to be allocated, and be able to be a little more surgical with different allocations, because it's not just a matter of everything's working, high tide raises all ships type of market environment. We're not seeing that play out right now. It really is a winners and losers type of game. And part of the reason that we have started to see the market begin to consolidate, those high beta, high volatility stocks are starting to be under pressure, again, is related to what's going on in the tech space. And this very much is being played out internationally. And that's what Zach's going to talk about next, looking at what's happening over in South Korea. Zach?
Yeah, South Korea is offering a cautionary tale of sorts for what can happen to broad market indices when the tech trade goes sideways. Not necessarily just tech, but certainly tech in this case. South Korean index is on your screen right now, and you can see really over the past year or so, the index has gone parabolic. A lot of that driven by tech mania by individual investors. You have individual investors that are very, very excited about some of the tech evolution, piling money into the index and driving it up at a rate that really hasn't been seen before in this particular index. We talk a lot about concentration in the S&P 500, in the US index, but concentration in the South Korean index kind of dwarfs that. We've got two companies that make up north of 50% of the South Korean index. So when those two companies, both of which are in the tech sector, start to pull back, or there's weakening in those names, the entire sector can get hit pretty hard. As you see on the screen there, the South Korean index down over 30% right now. You look back the other times that that's occurred: tech wreck, the great financial crisis, COVID. We had the 2022 bear market, and then now. So pretty significant times in the past where the South Korean index pullback has reached that 30% mark, and we are there again today. Again, in large part due to the fact that there was a lot of mania in the tech names driving the market up, and then as those names have weakened, because there's so much concentration, because there's so much bullish activity, started to pull back. On the next chart, you'll see that volatility, unsurprisingly, has also spiked up to the highest level that we've seen since 2008, and then the tech wreck before that. Really unprecedented levels of volatility. So really bearing out in a lot of different data points in the market. The tech trade, as ambitious as we are oftentimes, or as overeager as the market can be, and maybe is getting, certainly in parts of the market, the pullback, the volatility certainly to the downside when that goes sideways, or when some of those names start to weaken, can be pretty painful for the broad market.
All right, thank you, Zach. Again, we really have talked a lot about technology in many of the market carvers, and it's not because there's lack of other things to talk about. It just shows the importance that these tech stocks have, not just in the U.S. market, as they, like Zach alluded to, has a strong correlation here, and we see it internationally as well. As like the two stocks that Zach mentioned are heavy tech stocks, and that really do swing that market, and they really have had a big mania there. There's been a massive number of margin calls going on over in South Korea, adding fuel to the fire of what's happening in their market. And markets in the U.S. are continuing to monitor that closely to see if we start getting any bleed over of the selling pressure they are coming to the domestic tech sector this year. As we get into earnings season, we'll get a little bit more insight of that, how the companies are handling what's going on domestically and internationally, and how that's going to impact not only the tech space, but the broad market as a whole. Well, those are our topics we have for this week's Market Carver. If you do have any questions or would like to set up an appointment with our advisors team, we have a multitude of ways to reach out. The QR code, phone number, URL, you name it, we can probably find a way to contact you through it. We hope you enjoyed the topics we have this week. We look forward to making another video that you'll be able to enjoy next week. Have a good weekend.